2026 Bermuda Town Council meeting to order. We do have 4 council members seated here today, soon to be 5, so we do have a quorum. And if you are able, please stand and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And now for a moment of silence. It is the intent of the Town Council to make solemn the proceedings of this meeting and the business brought before the governing board, to offer the opportunity for a reflective moment of silence. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. And Brian, Mr. Williams?
Yes, ma'am. Pursuant to North Carolina General Statutes 168-86 and 160D-109 and the Town of Bermuda Run Code of Ethics Policy adopted November 9, 2010, and further endorsed on August 9, 2022, I would ask each of you before you adopt the agenda if there's any actual, potential, or perceived conflicts of interest with respect to any matter on the proposed agenda which will come before the Town Council for a vote at this meeting tonight. If so, please speak up and let the Council know at this time before the agenda is adopted. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Next, adoption of the agenda. The council has had an opportunity to review the agenda for this evening. Are there any revisions, or do we have a motion to approve?
Motion. Go ahead. Motion to approve as submitted.
Second.
Motion by Marty, second by Jeff. Any further discussion? Show of hands, all in favor? Thank you. And now, approval of the May 12th Town Council meeting minutes. The council has an opportunity to review the minutes. Any revisions or a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion to approve and seconded. Any further discussion? Show of hands. Those in favor? Wonderful. Thank you. Well, welcome everybody. It is great to see you all here, including some familiar faces. Particularly, I'd like to welcome Mayor Cross back to Town Hall. He is here to support our presenter today, Gene Taylor, Director of Davie County Smart Start. He's on their board of directors, and that's just one of the many, many ways Rick continues to serve our town, our county, and beyond. So welcome, Rick. Great to see you, and you'll be hearing more from Gene in a moment. Great to have Benita Finney, as always, our Chair of County Commissioners, and I'd also like to welcome former council persons, Christy Schaefer and Melinda Zeliga. Thrilled to have you all back here as well. And then also I want to recognize and welcome Rodney Miller from the Advanced Fire Department. Thank you for all you do, and great to see you here as well, Mr. Miller. So today's agenda, we have a action-packed and good agenda today. First of all, we are going to be swearing in our newest council member, Carson Jernigan. Carson, we're thrilled that you're going to be joining us. Just to review the bidding on that, at the last council meeting, the council appointed a new mayor. That left open a council seat, and that also left open a mayor pro tem. So you'll see the first 2 agenda items, or the next 2 agenda items, will be swearing in Carson with the oath of office, and also the council will have the opportunity to select a mayor pro tem. Then we'll be hearing from Gina Taylor, as I mentioned, Executive Director of Smart Start, who will present on the significance and importance of child care programs. And I think you'll be impressed by the workforce and economic development implications, most definitely. And today's packet includes a public hearing on our crucial 2026-2027 budget, and we will have other updates as well as citizens' comments. And so let's get started. Carson, I think Cindy Poe will be administering the oath of office.
Carson Jernigan,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, so help me God.
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, so help me God.
I, state your name,
Carson Jernigan,
do do solemnly and sincerely swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God.
Do solemnly and sincerely swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God.
I state your name.
Carson Jernigan,
Do solemnly swear that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as council member of the town of Bermuda Run, so help me God.
do solemnly swear that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as council member of the town of Bermuda Run, so help me God.
I, now by the powers vested in me by the general statutes of North Carolina, declare that the council member above, Carson Jernigan, has been administered the oath of office and is duly sworn to hold office as council member of the town of Bermuda Run. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Shake the board's hand, come get up here. Congratulations, you're in the corner.
Name tag, Chris? You were talking to Congratulations.
So ladies and gentlemen, we have a full house. We have a full council. However, we have one more piece of business related to our council, and that is next on the agenda. And the question is related to Mayor Pro Tem. So I'll leave it open to council discussion.
Madam Mayor, I would like to nominate Rod Guthrie for the position of Mayor Pro Tem.
Any discussion, or do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to raise my hand. My first time as not a council member. I apologize.
You can't vote, you can't vote.
No, I can't vote anymore. Okay, so nobody's opposed. I think it's unanimous.
Come on, Rod, vote for yourself, make it unanimous.
Let the record show.
So motion approved, and I believe we now have a new Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, thank you.
Congratulations, Rod.
Way to go. Thank you.
And I will try not to vote again. Next up, I'd like to introduce our presenter for this evening. And I mentioned about Gina Taylor earlier and all the amazing work that she's been doing at Smart Start, so I will go ahead and turn it over to Gina.
Thank you, Mayor Nelson. Council members, thank you for having me. I appreciate that. It is an honor to be here and share some information about Smart Start and early childhood resources in our community. Most folks are shocked at what Smart Start of Davie accomplishes, so I will try to cover our programs briefly, and I will stay after if there's any questions. Smart Start of Davie County has been serving young children in our community since November of 1997. So we are 29 years old, and pardon me, it's allergy season, so I'm scratchy. But our organization works to identify the needs of young children. We facilitate resources for families and prepare for we collaborate with many child serving agencies and community members, over 30 agencies that we work with annually, and we increase access to high-quality child care and provide quality instruction to support those children in child care facilities. We also expand literacy opportunities. So I want to share just a little bit about who we serve. We support families, doctors, teachers, and caregivers. We are the hub, for lack of a better word, for all things early childhood to prepare children for what they need to succeed in kindergarten and beyond. So fun fact, 90% of a child's brain develops by the age of 5. Most folks don't realize that, so think about that for a minute. 90% of a child's brain is developed before they enter kindergarten. The first 5 years are the most critical for brain development, and families and parents are their children's first teachers. So strong early childhood experiences create lifelong benefits and success. How we serve. Most folks only know about Dolly Parton Imagination Library, but that is only about 3% of what we do. So I want to share briefly about our family support programs. Those are key. Our early childhood education programs, which is the bulk of what we do with state funding, and then our family support and literacy programs are through grants and through our fundraising dollars. So I'll start briefly with Kaleidoscope Play and Learn. Have any of you heard about our Kaleidoscope or Triple P Positive Parenting Program? Well, Kaleidoscope started in the year 2022. We started with about 25 parents coming to playgroup, but now this past year we have served over 200 children and parents just in Kaleidoscope, so 400% growth in that program in just 4 years. It's a 90-minute play group. I think that the premise behind this program has come from the lack of childcare, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. Many families are turning to family, friends, and neighbor care so they can go to work. So I will share a little bit more about that. But we have two cohorts of our play group on site, and then we have a third that we like to say we take on the road. We serve our third cohort weekly, depending on whether the senior services care will host us for Grandparents and Me, an intergenerational activity. We also host our Kaleidoscope Playgroup at Recreation and Parks, the Farmington Community Center, and the Davie County Public Library. So, and that program is 90% grant funded. So thanks to many members here that are a part of the Davie Community Foundation, the Margaret Woodson Foundation, or the Pearls of Empowerment, because we could not continue to fund that program without local supports such as those. Our Triple P Positive Parenting Program is fairly new. We offer one-on-one interactive sessions with parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, any caregivers, and then we also do group sessions, and we host those primarily at Cognition of Davie. Cognition, if you've ever been in the Children's Museum, we have childcare upstairs, and then we do the parenting classes downstairs. So a great partnership with them. And community education, we just hosted our Kids Fest annual Family Fun Festival at the community park. We had over 800 folks attend our Kids Fest with over 30 child serving agencies. So if you have not attended our Kids Fest, it's been going on since 2002, so over 24 years. Please come out and join us. It's typically in April or May. I want to share a brief quote from one of our playgroup moms. She shared with us that before joining Kaleidoscope, my child was nonverbal and often kept to himself. Since becoming part of Smart Start's Kaleidoscope Playgroup, he has made incredible progress. He is now speaking, interacting, and playing with other children in ways that I only once hoped for. And that is only one of many, many stories coming out of our playgroups or other programs that we serve. So I want to talk a little bit about literacy. Since I shared with you our programs are basically under 3 umbrellas: family support, literacy, and early care. Dolly Parton Imagination Library, many of you may not know that there are 2,500 children in Davie County under the age of 5. We are currently sending books monthly to roughly 1,600 of those children. so about 70%. But as I said, this is less than 5% of what we do. Another literacy program is Reach Out and Read, where doctors' offices and pediatricians will prescribe a book at a well child visit. This program comes with the premise that not only should pediatricians and doctors share safe sleep and nutritional information with parents, but they want them to share the importance of literacy. And so much can come. Our local doctors, Dr. Harada recently shared that he uses the book to see how parents interact, how they are progressing with their skills, with age-appropriate activities, and they can tell a lot medically from how a children even interacts with those first books. So in addition to book distribution, which book distribution is actually incorporated in all of our programs. We recently had one of Davie County seniors, Grady Phillips, who is a member of this community. He did a little free library on our campus. So if you know of folks that need books or teachers, we have a little free library right outside our door that's open 24/7. So we also distribute birthing packets through Novant and Atrium. So for new parents, they will get a safe sleep book and information about community resources. And I want to share another quote from a parent that recently shared, because of a birthing kit that I received when my now 2-year-old daughter was born, I was able to connect with multiple resources offered by Smart Start of Davie County. Not only have I been able to participate in programs with her, but now that I have a newborn, I was able to connect with services for my youngest much sooner. Smart Start has been a valuable resource for our family from the very beginning. So we are very thankful for that, and we hope that you all might share some of the things that you learn about Smart Start with young families in your community. So as I mentioned, 90% of a child's brain is developed before they enter kindergarten. Well, there's roughly 2,000 days between the time when a child is born and when they enter kindergarten. So I want to circle back with our last umbrella of programs, which is early care and education, and the largest. On site, we are located at 1278 Yadkinville Road, across from Waffle House, or beside Taco Bell. As most folks know, Highway 601 is growing in the big metropolis of Knoxville. But come see us anytime. Our Early Childhood Resource Center offers developmentally appropriate educational kits. We have about 90 for infants, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, and for kindergarten readiness. And all of our resources are free for families. Many teachers at our faith-based centers will check out kits for their curriculum as well, for their classrooms. And our resource center hosts a lot of things that those teachers, especially in faith-based centers and our licensed centers, may need: bulletin board paper, die cuts, book binding machines, laminate, a lot of things like that. So please stop by and visit us. Our Strengthening the Foundations of Quality, you may have recently heard, we partner with Davie County Schools to have a preschool coach. So the preschool coach with Davie County Preschool is Stephanie Nelson. She spends half of her time with NC Pre-K classrooms and half of her time with Smart Start child care facilities, and she offers coaching and developmental trainings for our preschool teachers. If you have not heard or talked to a kindergarten teacher lately, many of our children are coming to kindergarten and they have not had any structure before they arrive there. Many of them know how to hold a device or a phone, but they don't necessarily know how to hold a pencil or scissors or have even read a book before they get to kindergarten. So our preschool coach works very much with our preschool teachers for classroom management, helping with transitions, and getting children prepared for those kindergarten years and the structure that they will have once they get to Davie County Schools. The Child Care Subsidy Program is a tuition assistance program that Smart Start offers, but it is administered through DSS, so that's just one way that we help families in need. We also offer the Wages Project, which is a salary supplement for our teachers. Many of our preschool teachers are not making a living wage. They may be making $10, $12 an hour in our licensed preschools, so we do offer a supplement for them. And one recent Davie teacher shared that the wages program is so important because it helps support teachers financially. She even covers some of the things in her classroom with our salary supplement program, and she is able to continue to work with children because of that program. Well, I want to talk a little bit about how our nation's prosperity rests on childcare. And many of you may not think might think that's a little bit drastic, but I want to share with you a few facts that Davie County did have 6 private childcare programs. 2 recently closed. One, Country Kids, that served our community in the southern part of our county for 39 years. Their last day was Friday. And Mud Pies Child Care Center closed about a year ago. So with 4 private centers, we have 7 classrooms in Davie County schools, 2 Head Start classes, but that is it. That is all that is serving our young children. We used to have several family child care homes. There is one. Smart Start has helped connect one family child care homeowner to start her home center. But the child care crisis is definitely an issue. It is affecting our workforce development. I recently met with Angelica, who is the former SBA CEO. She shared that they have finished their first shift work at SBA, and she has a number of staff members that are in desperate need of child care. She has several folks that work for her company that are parents, and typically one may have to leave early because they have to pick up their child from child care, and there is no second shift or third shift work in Davie County for child care for workers that are on those shifts. So children's development, families' ability to work, employers' ability to recruit and retain staff, and communities' economic welfare is definitely surrounding our child care crisis. And I'd like to take just a moment. This video is about 1 minute and 20 seconds. If Charlie, you think it will play? Thank you.
Thousands of people across our state depend on child care in order to get and keep their jobs.
Since 2019, child care costs have risen 32% in North Carolina. To Western North Carolina and what a Buncombe County nonprofit is calling a child care crisis.
There's a moment in time here in North Carolina where we are seeing the fruits of the labor of a lot of other people who came before us. And I can tell you one thing, it will not last.
We've got to be prepared, like any other community, to help them. But if a person can't come into a hospital and work, or a restaurant, or anywhere, it does affect us. So we've got to deal with it. We've got to be creative in finding solutions.
Why is it that if the most important days in a human being's life can be shaped by certified teachers, by a structured curriculum, the future of America is totally forgotten, lost?
We both need to work and have 2 incomes. Multiple centers in our county close down. If there's no child care, you travel to find child care, or you stay at home, or you move.
Are we going to be able to continue? I pray so. If you don't have enough staff, then you have to start turning children around. I can't match these other companies' pay. Yes, we need help.
Thank you.
Thousands of people across our...
Oh, that's okay. Well, you got it. One back. There we go. So basically, I just want to make sure that I share a few facts, and I'm about to wrap up. But in a nutshell, our early childhood programs truly need our support, even though that does not fall under Smart Start's core programs for our nonprofit organization. We feel that we are the liaison between all of those child care directors and teachers. And the fact that Davie County, roughly the average cost of monthly care for infants is around $909 a month. One of the centers here in Advance charges roughly around $1,100 a month for the care of an infant. There are just about 600 children in Davie County in licensed care, and as I shared with you, 2,565 of those children are in our community under the age of 5. There are over 200 on a wait list for care across our county, and there are less than 30 slots for infants. So think about that. We have 8 moms in our play group right now that are about to have a baby within the next 3 months. All of them have currently left the workforce, and they're coming to our play groups, hoping to find childcare so that they can go back to work, but there are less than 30 infant slots across the entire county. North Carolina stats come from the Chamber Economic Development and the NC data from NC Child. All of these facts are here. One of my board members that is with me, Mr. Rick Cross, he will share some paperwork if anybody would like to see more information about Davie County and North Carolina statistics. But it is costing our state roughly $5.65 billion in loss to our North Carolina economy as a result of childcare issues and folks leaving the workforce. So what have we done? Many of Smart Start, our board members, we have reached out to local business leaders. We are working with county agencies, county leaders, our school system, Dr. Belcher, our superintendent, working to expand educational pathways at Davie County High School. We also work with Davie County Community College. We recently had 5 interns from the community college that worked with Davie County Preschool. We also, Smart Start information has expanded the early care and education field at Davidson-Davie Community College in hopes that we will have more students go into that field. And also those classes have been brought back to Davie County High School as well as a pathway for careers. And then we are sharing local and state initiatives to expand support, growth, and opportunity for our child care field, our child care workers, and just to share with folks like you, what can we do? So you might ask, I want to leave you with, I hope that you will support and champion, help and encourage and continue to help Smart Start of Davie and all of our community share the message that I briefly touched on today. The awareness of early childhood issues are so important, and many folks do not realize them if they don't affect you or if you don't have a child under the age of 5 in your home. But those children under the age of 5 are our future workforce. So champion childcare as an economic infrastructure as we are thinking about all the housing coming into our community. How can those developers potentially help us with finding ground to open another childcare center? That is desperately needed to connect families to resources and to encourage those partnerships between government, business, education, and the nonprofit sectors. And just leaving you with the children in our community today are the workforce. They are our leaders. They are our citizens of tomorrow. So thank you very, very much for letting me share my message. I would love to take questions if any of you may have them.
Thank you, Gina.
Actually,
Lots of
I do
questions.
have one question
Yes.
that just strikes me. You may have mentioned that I missed it, but what are the funding sources for Smart Start?
For Smart Start, about
Just in
80%, sure. We are part of the North Carolina Partnership for Children, so that is the state agency out of
Right.
Raleigh. When actually Governor Hunt started the North Carolina Partnership for Children in 1995. So we get state funding, legislative dollars, for about 80% of our budget, as do Smart Starts. We are in every county in the state. So Davie County is very fortunate to have their own affiliate and partnership for just our county. We're not a multi-county agency. The other 20% of our funding comes from grants. We write about $150,000 in grants every year, and then we have our annual fundraiser. If any of you have heard of our Hometown Hoedown that we've recently hosted at Bermuda Run Country Club, we host that in February, and that is to raise money for our literacy and family support programs.
Is that funding holding pretty steady that comes from Raleigh?
No, our funding from the state of North Carolina dipped about 40% in 2011. So Smart Start of Davie County was actually had more funding through the legislature prior to 2012. Our funding has been flat. We around 2018-19 we got about a 4 to 5% increase, and other than that it has stayed the same or been reduced. And of course, costs go up, and we have continued to expand programming. I know Rick loves to share a little, he's on our finance committee as well. 10 years, we were supplementing our state legislative dollars by about $48,000, and this year we have supplemented that with local dollars by $187,000 in grants and fundraising in order just to meet a small part of the need of families that are coming through our program. Thank you for asking.
So on the Smart Start, the educational service, I understand, the Smart Start, are you involved in the child care?
So we support child care centers. We offer free trainings. We do emergency preparedness. We do safe sleep, SIDS, medication administration, all types of stuff for teachers. We even host a one-day annual conference that is free. All of your child care teachers, even preschool teachers, those with high school diplomas or those with master's degree, have to earn continuing education hours. And many of those hours can be earned for almost in whole through Smart Start, through our free training programs.
I mean, I'm sure Rick's on it, but as focused as Davie County is on growing economic development, are we marketing the child care facility needs in the county?
We have been sharing that through roundtable.
Rick's grinning, he must know.
I would love for you to share a little bit more, Rick. Come on.
I was told by Mayor Nelson there would be no questions. Sorry for I've been yelling at my grandsons quite a bit. When you think about everything that Gina has shared here, this is a strategic imperative. This is not just, let's take care of our kids. We are losing and foregoing our economic development in this community. We're building homes, we're building communities, but if you can't have some place for your child to go 0 to 5 or before they get into school, it's hard for you to move here. So we're spending time with the EDC, the Economic Development Group, with employers across the community. One of the things, and Mayor Nelson was with us 2 weeks ago when we had a roundtable discussion on the child care crisis. And by the way, it's not just in Davie County. Right. It is nationwide. It is in the Triad. It is every. We feel it because we are relatively small, and 200, it really stands out. But as we're talking about this, we've been going about this the wrong way. We've been talking to HR managers in these companies. They don't get it. This is not a criticism of HR managers, but the message isn't coming up to them. Right. It's the first line managers that are seeing this, that their employees are calling in sick, but they're covering, right? Because the first line manager is responsible to get the stuff done. So they're not going to the HR manager saying, I'm not able to get this stuff done because it's going to come back on them. So our next path is to get with the first line managers just to talk to this. And also, by the way, it's also the small businesses. It's not just the SBAs and the Gildans of the world. It's Davie Medical Center. It's the club. It's Bermuda Village. It's the various places around here that are the actual people that we need to have employed in this community that can't. And I know one of the things that we really didn't spend a lot of time on, nor should we, because it's a whole different path, but faith-based, the solution, well, let's go to churches and get them to do this. That's a whole different line of requirements that they have if they go over the 4 hours. Right. 4 hours doesn't do full-time employees much good. So it was a long-winded answer to your short question.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. No,
but yeah, it's this as a board, and we're getting ready to get into our strategic planning with Gina's guidance. One of the critical things that we're going to have to deal with is what do we look like 5 years from now or 10 years from now? It's not going to be the same as it looks now, right? Yeah. I mean, the technology and the needs and all of that are going to be very different. And if we still continue to try to do what we've been doing for the past 20 years, which has worked very well, yes, but it's not going to work for the next 5 or 10 years. And the cost pressures, to the question that was asked earlier, the cost pressures are immense. The amount of time that Gina spends on just grant writing and checking seat cushions for coins to feed into, because we're not getting it from Raleigh, and we're not gonna lament that. but the reality is that it's been relatively flat for the past decade, that what we're getting, and our costs have gone up significantly.
Are there barriers of entry into building child care facilities? Is that I mean, I can't imagine somebody in there thinking, hey, we got a great need, let's start building these things like nursing homes, same kind of thing.
Well, and that's the question.
That's a wonderful, the Child's World, here, right?
Right, with Andy, right.
Yeah. We talk to them, and we will continue to talk to them. But the barrier to entry is significant. The state regulations are really, really high. And if you think, was the ones that Gina mentioned earlier that are closing, that one that closed this, they could not make it work to transition from one generation to the next, because the requirements that were previously grandfathered in, no longer going to be grandfathered, so all of that had to be, they just couldn't make it work. Nor could an ongoing entity like a Child's World go into the middle of Davie County and make that work without some type of subsidy. And I know we've talked about, are there opportunities for funding and subsidies and things like that? But the barrier to entry is pretty high. It's hard for them to make that work.
Thank you.
I wanted to share one last thing. If you think that you are not impacted by childcare, we had a trainer that came to do training, since you asked about training, and one of our trainers could not, she was supposed to have surgery, just an outpatient surgery the week before. She got there, the anesthesiologist did not have childcare. They had to postpone her surgery. So you think about who is working on you, even in the medical field, or who is servicing your car, why they are there. They may be there because there's a childcare teacher keeping their child. So I thought that was very poignant. But thank you so much for having me.
Any other comments?
Oh, good. Was there any other questions?
I just want to say thank you so much, and I know we're committed to looking 5 and 10 years down the road. We have younger generations, both in our town and in our council, and as we're growing, this is something we certainly need to be aware of and perhaps incorporate in our thinking and strategic planning and comprehensive planning, and certainly be aware.
And if you'd like to learn more, we might be on the cover of Davie Life. Thank you, Wendy, for featuring Smart Start.
Gene, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you very much. Next on the agenda, citizens' comments. Do we have anybody signed up?
Yes, Madam Mayor, we do. Ms. Melinda Saliga. Melinda, I'll read the rules, though. You know them well, I'm sure. So each speaker should be allowed a total of 3 minutes to speak and shall immediately stop when his or her 3 minutes are up. Please state your name and address before speaking. The speaker shall address the council as a whole and shall not ask for any verbal exchange back from the council. It's not the intent of the public comment or public hearing period, for that matter, to require the council to answer any impromptu questions. There should be no discussion between the speaker and the members of the audience. Rather than Mr. Meadwell being the timekeeper, as you may recall, I think now it's on the board, and he says a buzzer dings at the end, too. So, yeah. So,
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor and council members, and congratulations to our newest council member. I am pleased to provide a brief update on the Town of Bermuda Run's first ever Patriotic Pause Walk, which will take place on this Saturday, June 13th, beginning at 9 a.m. at the Flag Plaza in front of the Windmock Barn. The community event was created to celebrate Flag Day while also honoring our nation's upcoming 250th anniversary, and the response from residents, businesses, and community partners has been incredibly positive. We are excited to welcome both the two-legged and four-legged participants for a morning of patriotism, fellowship, and fun. The event will begin with a presentation of the colors by the Davie County Sheriff's Office Color Guard, and followed by a community rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. Participants and their leashed pets will then enjoy a walk along the beautiful Bermuda Run Trail. We are grateful for the many organizations and businesses that have stepped forward to support this event. The Town of Bermuda Run will provide complimentary American flags for attendees, and thanks to the generosity of local sponsors, including the Hillsdale Real Estate Group, Vista Realty, Meg Brown's Furnishings, Sam's Ice Cream, and Cranfield Law Firm, the first 200 attendees will receive a free commemorative T-shirt. In addition, Chick-fil-A and Sam's Ice Cream have partnered with us to provide complimentary treats for participants. Promotion of the event has been underway via social media, community outreach, and partner organizations. We're especially excited to see residents embracing the idea and the patriotic theme by planning festive attire for themselves and their pets. Most importantly, this event reflects what makes Bermuda Run special. Neighbors coming together, celebrating our shared love of country, community, our community's amenities, and creating lasting memories for family, friends, and their pets. On behalf of the group that is putting this together, we want to thank the town council and the town staff for your support of this inaugural event. We look forward to welcoming residents and visitors alike this Saturday, June 13th, for what promises to be a wonderful community celebration. And I have more flyers, so if you know you're going to be out and about in the community and you want to grab a flyer and post it somewhere, that would be great. Again, it's this Saturday, 9 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Melinda. And the weather's looking pretty good. Weather's looking really good.
Cloudy.
Okay, but no rain. Great. Thank you so much, Melinda. Wonderful, wonderful. So next up, citizens' comments. Are there other citizens' comments?
Mayor, I've been asked if it's too late to sign up. Apparently, someone has just asked staff.
Sure.
Is that okay with you all?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to hear, we want to listen.
Daryl, and last name? Woolridge. Daryl Woolridge. Mr. Woolridge, 121 Tipton Street. If you would please take the days.
Thank you for allowing me to, I'm sorry, listen to my 95-year-old mother-in-law said the meeting's at 6:30. So I thought I was early, I'm late, I apologize. I'll be brief, I'll be, and what do they say, be brief, be brilliant, and be gone. I'm a new resident to 121 Tipton Street, and I didn't realize when I bought the house that I was going to be on the raceway, the end of a lot of speeding that is happening, and I'm just absolutely amazed at how fast they're coming down. I've asked the sheriff office, would you mind setting up in my yard? You know, they don't want to be hassling the people of Bermuda Run. I understand that. But Tifton is the cut through from all the other places, and by the time I'm backing up, thank goodness I got a truck that stops if a car's coming, but I promise you, I'm backing in my driveway, there is no way to pull forward, so I have to back out. But I look up the road and there's nothing, and by the time I aggressively back up, I've got somebody on my rear end, and they're shooting me the finger and things like that because I'm not moving fast enough. So I know we have the speed humps. They're really not working. I appreciate that they're there, but they just are not doing anything. And Tifton is just phenomenal. So I am going to pursue, but I wanted the board to know, I am going to pursue talking to the David County Sheriff's Department and see if I can't get, I've asked them, can we put one of those radar things up that says how fast you're going? My neighbor, Alan Welch, was with me today, and he agrees with me, and he's lived there longer than I have, that we've got a problem. Okay, that's I'm just making you aware that something's an issue. Second thing, I brought a copy of the town amendment or ordinance that was signed by John Ferguson back on August the 9th of 2011, and it talks about golf carts. We need to be aware that all these families, now that we're a golf cart community, are letting their 10-year-olds, their 8-year-olds drive these golf carts by themselves. And it's a problem. Now, I saw a kid the other day, probably about 9 years old. A can fell off his car. He kept on going. I went to pick it up. It was a Truly. So a 9-year-old with an open container, I wonder what a police officer would do about that. I'm wondering if there's a way to put a flyer in everybody's mailbox that says you cannot drive by law a golf cart on Bermuda Run or in Bermuda Run in the town of unless you are a licensed driver and have your license with you. That's what the law says. And this ordinance was signed in 2011. Just wanted to make you aware of the two things that are on my mind and maybe something we could think about doing something. I even wonder, is there a way to change the law, the speed limit in Bermuda Run to 20 miles an hour? Because 25 and you go on 35, you're still under 10. But if you, anyway, my time's up. If you had it 20, then at 30, a law would have a bite. They would have something to fight with. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for your comments. I just want everybody to know that the process around not having discussion is just a best practice across town meetings, so just wanted you to know that. But please know we are listening, we do hear you, and maybe there'll be some time in comments to offer some reflections. And so just wanted to say thank you very much. Any other citizens' comments?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Next, the public hearing for the budget and the budget manager's proposed FY 2026.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I just want to thank each of you for the work that you have done in preparation of the fiscal year 2026-27 budget. Without your input and direction to staff, we could not have this document, this financial document before you tonight. So thank you, thank staff, but a lot of work goes into these budgets. We were, as we talked about the process, we knew our revenues would still be coming in, and we're monitoring these line items up to the very last minute on these things. So, but I thank you to all of you for doing that. As you know, Bermuda Run today is significantly different than this town that incorporated in 1999. As the town has expanded, both geographically and demographically, so have those services. And those services that our residents have learned to expect. This budget recognizes that many of these essential services, including street maintenance, solid waste collection, community engagement, our infrastructure, public safety, continue to increase in cost. But thanks to you and staff, we have, through some careful planning and sound financial stewardship, we're able to continue to deliver these services while still looking to invest in our future for our community. So before you tonight, the 26-27 manager's proposed budget is proposed at for our three funds at $5,256,500, of which the general fund makes up $3,108,650,000. The tax rate for the town is still set at 15 cents per $100 of valuation, and this budget is balanced and prepared in accordance with the LGC and the Fiscal Control Act, with discretionary fund balance appropriated at $300,000. So as we looked at their budget, and as we talked as early as March, and in follow-up discussions, we have seen an increase in property tax collection. However, this increased tax collection for ad valorem has been offset by other decreased revenues statewide. So we're seeing and projecting that we'll see a reduced sales tax revenue, utilities branch tax residue, and our interest income. I think what most people probably have a misconception about is that ad valorem taxes, that's your real property and your personal property, only account for around 43% of the revenues that we receive into town. These other revenue sources, sales tax, utility, are the other sources of income that we depend upon to pay for these services. The majority of these expenses represent a continuation of from last year's fiscal budget. We've tried to balance this budget by reducing some of our paving expenses to offset some of our rising solid waste removal costs. Increases that we have seen from previously budgeted items are, staff events, staff retirement, waste removal, leaf removal, our website, streetlights, and other type of grounds maintenance. Proposed new spends are communications, upgrades to AV equipment in this town chamber here, bringing in a Lead for North Carolina fellow from through the School of Government, a UNC Chapel Hill student. Also, our NCDOT Bike Ped Grant match, as well as a commitment to update the comprehensive plan. This budget represents a continued investment in the quality of life that residents expect and value in Bermuda Run. So when we talk about that, we're talking about continuation of our community officer, right? The investment into community events, bringing back funding, Christmas in Bermuda Run, having sidewalks, right? This planning includes the commitment by this council, or previous council, for upgrades to the sidewalks in Kennerton Village. This will be the final year of that process. So working with the HOA there, we've addressed majority or all of the sidewalks that needed repair in Kennerton residential. But it also looks at looking at new pedestrian plans that we're undertaking as part of that. So it's not our focus that we simply just maintain our current services, but it's really the strategic priority and investment in the projects that improve the daily lives of our residents, day in and day out, that really enhance our community connectivity and really prepare the town for our future. So another key task that we tried to achieve in this budget was trying to advance council priorities. And this budget, I feel, directly supports those initiatives by advancing communication. I think that is one of the things that we heard from you, that you heard, is enhancing that outreach and resident engagement, as well as improving those communication tools and resources. You're also committed in land use and development, with the thoughtful planning for future residential and commercial growth, as well as continued implementation of planning initiatives, as I'd already mentioned, comprehensive plan implementation, funding for the updates of future planning efforts, as well as aligning those investments with our long-term goals of the community. But also it's another key component is, our community events, right? This council is committed to continue to support those, as well as the funding of Christmas in Bermuda Run. I know that was a priority for each of you, and we have done that again for this year. So with that, our second fund that we operate is the Gate Fund. That fund is balanced at $941,750,000. As we discussed from last year's budget, we would take whatever surplus monies that we received from last year and apply that to upcoming budgets for the Gate Fund. This gate fee is proposed at $716.46. This is a 13% reduction from the previous fiscal year, or roughly about $110 reduction. We've agreed that we would apply this over the 4-year amortization timeline so that we would have that gate fee. It would stay constant at $716 all the way through that fiscal year 2030, 2031. And this amortization includes the stabilization of those fees. So we've already kind of built in those natural increases to inflation, as well as any increases into our contract that we have with the provider. But this also corresponds with the time when a new contract would be renegotiated with that. So I think the desire by council, one, to reduce that rate, but also be able to stabilize that is accomplished in this budget. But also, as we continue to look at the gatehouses, to continue to make those enhancements to those facilities or those assets that we have. Our utilities fund is balanced at $1,206,100. As we have discussed previously, the town operates a sewer system that is strictly and solely within the gates of Bermuda Run East, Bermuda Run West, Kennerton Residential. Those are all provided services by Davie County. As we've identified through our AIA program and assessment, infiltration still remains a challenge for us. We have an aging infrastructure. So, we have to continue to monitor our pump stations, our generators, our utility lines, but we're hoping that with the Find and Fix project, which is supposed to start in late 2000 of this year, summer of 2026, this is going to be the start of addressing some of these issues with the infiltration. But the desire of council, the long-term goal of this is to ultimately have this sewer system, this remaining sewer system, turned over to Davie County, to Davie County Public Utilities for that. Also, in this balanced budget for the utilities is an anticipated 6% increase on rates from Davie County. This is also pending on their adoption of the county's fiscal year budget for 26-27. But it should be noted too that for us to be able to offset some of those costs for infiltration, there has been a fund balance appropriation to cover those costs. So, and this probably should be something that we'll see for probably the next couple of years until we're able to make these improvements to the sewer system in hopes of ultimately turning this over to Davie County Public Utilities. So with kind of the closing message that I have for you as council, this budget is more than a financial document. It truly reflects the town's priorities and the vision for the future. It reflects your desire to invest in the quality of life that strengthens our infrastructure, our public safety. It advances your council initiatives and positions the town to successfully manage the growth while maintaining the fiscal responsibility that our residents expect, right? But these really help ensure that we remain vibrant and connected, financially sound for our community for years to come. So, Mayor, Council, I'll be more than glad to answer any questions you have, but I do appreciate the work that you all have provided to staff in preparation of this budget. So.
And just to check, no public hearing, is that correct?
It is a
Open the
public hearing, yes, ma'am, by statute. You're required to do
Wonderful,
so.
thank you. Comments, discussions?
Well, I'd just like to thank the staff for the work they put into this budget. It is a very time-consuming and difficult process to balance the revenues and expenditures. I want the public to know that a lot of time and effort has been put into it. There's been a lot of consultation with the council members, sometimes on a one-to-one basis. You may see us act quickly tonight, but just know that a lot of time and effort has been put in behind the scenes to understand the expenditures and to make sure that we are being fiscally conservative, but are also able to provide all the services that our citizens expect. So once again, I just want to thank the staff, and I'll reserve any further comments for later.
I would just add that running a town is like running any business. There's two levers that you pull to balance a budget. Either revenue goes up or expenses come down. It's a pretty simple conversation. And this year, to prepare the residents for next year, one of the things that stands out there, it's near and dear to everybody's heart, is the leaf pickup and the debris pickup. And roughly 5 if I did the math right, 5.3% of our overall budget goes towards leaf pickup, which is $280-some thousand a year, which, I know it's a convenience that we all created a couple of years ago, but it's one of those questions, what did you do before we picked up leaves? But one of those things that, if revenue doesn't go up, those are tough choices that some town council may have to make. May not be me, I hope, but somebody. Those kind of things that we look through, and those are amenities that, we take for granted for trash pickup and those kind of things, but they're real expenses. And so, those were tough decisions that had to be made this year, but, they'll get tougher as time goes on if revenue doesn't go up, so we'll see.
Andrew, I think I heard you say that there still may be a one or two items that are still to come in, particularly from the county, before we can actually nail down.
Yeah, so, and I think we're anticipating this 6% increase. So it's in that balanced budget.
Okay.
Obviously, just like any other budget, if you don't spend it, it automatically goes into, fund balance for that fund. So obviously, you can't take fund money revenues from utilities and transfer it over to general fund and things like that. But as you'll see, at the end of this month, at our agenda meeting, we do our year-end kind of budget amendment, where we start to kind of reconcile all of our budgets to kind of close out the year. So that's kind of really where you'll see the correction in the budget for next year. So June of '27, you'll see that. But until we really know, and I'm not hearing anything really different from the county.
Okay, so we're not expecting any wild cards being thrown here at the last minute that might affect what you and the staff have put together.
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, that's good. And I'd echo what Marty just said. I think this is a yeoman's task to put together, even for our small town, to put together a budget with these moving parts. So thank you very much for the work and the time you put into it, and for the way you shared your information with the council.
I'll add to what Jeff said too. We're at a strategic time to where we're getting ready to start. We're in the beginning stages of updating our comprehensive plan. And if we're truly, the word vision has been thrown around a lot in our meetings. And if we're truly looking out 5 to 10 years to continue to make this place, this town, a desirable place to live and to raise our kids, and to leave it for the next generation better than we found it. These type of services, if we're spending $250,000 a year in leaf pickup and $350,000 a mile and asphalt for roads, is this, we've got to look as a council and as a community, is that the highest and best use of our revenue and our funds over the next 5 to 10 years? Something for all of us to think about, and for everyone, hopefully, that will be involved and help us with the comprehensive plan. Andrew, thank you for the work that you've done, for being a resource. We've had a lot of questions, and being transparent and helping us understand there's a lot of numbers and a lot of line items. Charlie, you are a wizard with these numbers and charts and with all the data. So thank you very much, and to the rest of the staff.
One question for you, Andrew. So for my clarification, I guess there's 3 funds, right? The general fund, the utilities fund, the gate fund.
That's correct.
But the clarification point, the gate fund is associated only to the people that are using that gate, right? Meaning
that is correct.
Other individuals that reside in Bermuda Run that are not in and out using the gates, they are not charged from a tax perspective.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Any other comments?
I just want to say I'm very excited about the communication part that was included in this budget. That's something that we heard a lot on the campaign trail about improving communications, and I think this budget addresses some improvements, the things that we're going to do to make sure that we communicate better with our our constituents and our residents. So I'm excited about that part, and I'm hoping that's going to really make a big improvement on the amount of information, how we share information with the public. With that said, I would like to make a motion. Oh, I'm sorry.
Just any other comments? Public hearing.
Open the public hearing. No one signed up to speak.
Okay, so we'll close the public hearing. So as the agenda says, the town council may act tonight to adopt the proposed budget ordinance as presented, may approve as amended, or take no action. We must, however, have an adopted budget prior to July 1. So do I have any?
Now, Marty.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to adopt the proposed budget ordinance as presented.
I will second.
We have a motion by Marty, second by Jeff. I'm not going to vote, but all approve. Raise your hand. No opposed? The budget is passed and approved. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Next action item. Andrew, capital project ordinance.
Thank you, Ms. Mayor. If you recall, this council applied for funding for the Blue Heron Trail Phase 3 and the NC 801 sidewalk project. We were funded through NCDOT. They have allocated money for these two projects. As part of that allocation, it required a 20% match from the town. We have already previously budgeted those amounts, but for that, now is the time for the actual spending of those funds. So that requires that we have to create or adopt a capital project ordinance, and that is what is before you tonight. So staff is recommending for this to become a true project. These are the steps that you must do to make this a reality project, to move from just funding to an actual construction moving forward. So I'll answer any questions you may have, Ms. Mayor or Council.
Questions? Comments?
I will go ahead and move that we adopt this proposal for the continuation of the funding for the projects that are identified. I'm not sure if you need additional language in that motion, but that's my motion. And I believe it's, as we have seen, and as we will see this coming Saturday, Blue Heron Trail is a nice addition and an amenity that I believe, as it continues and as it expands, will make our community much more walkable and accessible for folks on both sides of the interstate. So I strongly support these types of projects, and therefore I make the motion to approve the funding.
I'll second.
Okay. We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor? Right, thank you. Motion approved. Thank you very much, council. And now, town manager comments.
I will be very brief. As we had mentioned, the pedestrian plan project, we've got all the agreements for Phase 1 and Phase 2. I think I'd already have kind of conveyed to council that more than likely this would be a combined project now. And our engineers will be making a presentation to you, town council, in July to go over this project, let you know kind of where we're at, but also kind of the kickoff as an update to our residents that we are starting the process for this. So what you'll see is after that meeting, you'll start to see letters go out to those residents that, hey, this project's getting started. We're bidding this project. So we're really looking at in that next 2 to 3 months after the meeting in July that we'll start a contractor will bid on this project. A contract will come back before you to actually start that construction. So it's kind of long overdue. The unknowns of getting agreements and things of that nature are just unknowns. So really looking forward to that, but and really excited about our engineers being able to come and talk to you and let you know, because I'm sure you're getting a lot of questions. When you're going to start the project, when you're going to start the project. So this is the real first bit of kind of news. They'll start letting residents know that phase 1 and phase 2 is getting ready to start. So really excited about that. Also, we continue to talk about our paving needs and our assessment of that. Our engineers are finalizing that, and we'll be making that kind of presentation to you at your June agenda meeting. So really looking forward to that, really telling us what we can do, what we shouldn't do, and some alternatives to paving. As Dylan had mentioned, the rate that what we are going now paying for paving is not sustainable. So we have to look at some alternatives. And it's not that we're not doing paving at all. It's included in your budget this year, but we have to be a little bit more creative to get a little more extended lifespan of our current asphalt needs, while still addressing the streets to the level that we need to make those. Speed tables, I know it was already mentioned tonight. A lot of requests on other streets. The Kennerton residential speed table, I'll get that final report from the engineers this week, and hopefully have a presentation for you guys ready at your June agenda meeting. So really looking forward to that, seeing some of their recommendations. We'll take that and kind of digest to look at what are some of those traffic calming measures that they are recommending. And with that recommending are prices with those. So what's best suited for the neighborhood. So it may not just be a speed table. It could be other types of traffic calming measures too. So, but we're already looking at additional speed tables at other streets. Tifton is being one of those. But we'll definitely reach out to the sheriff's office and ask if that traffic enforcement and even possibly have them come out and put the radar, just to let you know the speed there. So Mr. Woolridge is not the only resident that has called in recent weeks about the speeding. So it is on our radar. We know it's an issue, as we all know, with residents. Golf carts, it's that time of year again, right? So again, we'll talk to our community officer to talk about some enforcement and some of those communications. So we'll work on getting that out, just to remind residents of what the ordinance is and what the law actually is, so that we can try to avoid some of these altercations with golf carts, young people, and vehicles, right? I think that's the one thing that we don't want to happen is this type of altercation. So with that, I am finished.
Any questions, Randy?
A couple questions. The storm drain project that was just completed, there was a section of sidewalk that wasn't included. And I'm assuming that was just because it was all right there together, and that's going to tie right into the new walkway.
That's all you get. Everybody's just, you're just going to walk back and forth real fast, get your steps.
That's all we funded, right?
That's it.
So that while they were there doing that project, it was just easier to just go ahead and do that. But, you know, hey, signs of things to come, right? So that will be incorporated into phase 1, phase 2 as part of that construction. So they're in the final punch list of that project. We still have 2 other stormwater projects that we're getting ready to do as well. So a lot of construction activity getting ready to happen. Reynolds Town.
Where are those stormwater projects? I mean, that one was painfully slow. I mean, I think everybody in the world was screaming and yelling, and it was painful. Matter of fact, the equipment's still there, so I'm going to take a bobcat myself.
Yeah. Tight spaces, a lot of equipment. There's a lot of, there was a water line relocation.
Right.
Gas line, electrical lines, fiber optic. You just would not believe, but.
It was a mess.
One project is at the end of Tifton and Riverbend, on this end of Riverbend. It's a nice little drop off right there. And then there's another project on Riverbend there close to Rotunda, in that area right there. So,
I'm sorry, Marty, I didn't interrupt you on that.
No, you're good.
One other question I'd love for you to, I missed it earlier. The gate committee.
Yep.
Had a lot of people send emails this week about a gate committee of Allied Services. We created this new contract. A lot of people are emailing me because I was part of the gate committee saying, hey, they're not checking driver's license. They're waving people through like they always do.
So,
Can we get an update?
We've had the equipment installed and deployed. We had just a few other little minor little glitches with, and so technical side on our side. Got through another little curveball that we're still working through with where this administration staff is going to be located. We're pretty positive there's probably going to be a change of location for that individual, just based on some unforeseen issues that the town is being strapped with. So we're in the process of doing that, but if you recall, part of the contract with Allied was a person that person was going to be housed at 801. So we're meeting with Allied on Monday to talk about these provision changes, just to see how we can proceed on with that. But really, after this meeting on Monday, we've always anticipated once we got to this point that it would be a 2-week kind of shot clock. Right. That we would send everything or transfer everything over to Allied. So they're aware of that. So that is our goal, that after we have this meeting on Monday, we'll start. But you'll see communication.
You'll send me a couple of notes. I'm going to answer those emails. I got a lot of emails last week. The last thing for me, question for you. I think, is July the month that we take over that I-40-801 interchange, maintenance of that?
We have done that. So
we take it over now? The town owns it now?
That is part of our agreement. Now, the contractor, the original contractor that installed the landscaping, a lot of the plants and things like that, they did not quite fulfill their contract. So DOT is working with a second contractor to go in and replace some of the dead trees and/or bushes, flowers, and things like that. But in terms of mowing and things of that nature, we've picked that up. But we're trying to coordinate that with NCDOT as well. They're mowing as well, right?
Yeah, they mow like what, like once every 6 months, something like that?
So
I was just saying, I mean, if we take it over, it'd be nice if it was, look more representative of the community we're trying to manage.
And that was kind of one of the kind of problems that we'll see is that we only maintain a certain area. We're going to maintain, we're going to mow. DOT may not. So you're going to see an actual difference in the level of service there in regards to maintenance.
Hey, just one quick thing with the 2 new stormwater projects kind of on the horizon. Can we make sure that, I guess there's coordination about if there is going to be potential for road closures?
Yes.
From a communication standpoint, I would say, the school system was confused as well. Buses, they might get accomplished during the summer, and so that might not be an issue, but I would.
We were as shocked as anyone that when we found out the road was closed. So a scheduling kind of conflict that they had with the asphalt and their concrete guy all showed up at the same time. Anyway.
Okay.
A question came up by one of the citizens on Tifton about changing the speed limit is there a process the town could engage in
It is.
to have that changed?
You by statute have the authority to change speed limits on streets that you maintain and own, right?
Right.
You couldn't just go out on a DOT type street.
Yeah,
You couldn't
right.
do that, right?
Right.
But there is a process to do that, but.
But I think that'd be a question for somebody, we're working with consultants now as far as traffic
We could.
calming, so that clearly would be another question that could be asked
Absolutely.
especially where there are terrain features or site obstructions that would justify a low, that'd be something worth looking at, right? Okay, I just thank you for that. Well, I see it right there. I also want to thank everybody for being here. I know you said that.
Well, we haven't gotten it, we're going to get into town council comments
Oh,
right
excuse
now.
me. Oh, I thought, well, I've already
No,
had
I'm
mine.
not.
I've already had mine. You can go ahead.
Mayor Pro Tem, you can do whatever you like. But we are up to town council comments. What are you learning? What are you hearing? Anything additional?
Well, I would like to see if there's any, is there a set of plans for our speed bumps and the speed tables that our residents can come look at and say, and look and see where future speed bumps are going to be or
For like
speed
phase
tables?
1 and phase 2?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's-
Is that here at the town hall?
Correct. That'll be part of that presentation right there.
Okay, so that's coming soon. Excellent. Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Anything else?
I've exhausted mine.
I'll just say, again, congrats to Mr. Jernigan. Welcome, and it's good to have a full table up here. So, thank you. Yep.
Absolutely.
I agree. I'll echo that, Carson. Glad to have you on board, really. And again, thank you, Ms. Taylor, for coming today. That's it.
That was very educational.
I can't imagine what young parents these days are having to face with meeting the job requirements and childcare requirements. So I thank you for bringing that to our attention. That's all I have.
Okay. So I have 3 kind of fun things for mayor's comments, and then we might adjourn. Charlie, one is reminder of speaker series. Again, thank you, Gina Taylor. In July, we are going to be celebrating the 250th, and Tyler Dixon from the Hero Center are going to be here. You do not want to miss him and the story of what he does for our veterans. It's absolutely amazing. And we might have some surprise guests during July as well, just teasing. And then in August, we're going to have Jesse Folger from Habitat for Humanity, along with Stephanie Hearn from Stroll. And in September, back to school, we're going to have the Senior Vice President for Workforce and Economic Development and Community Engagement from David Davidson Community College going to be here, and we're excited to hear what he's going to say and update. Just want to echo what Melinda said about the Patriotic Paws Walk. I have my shirt, going to be there. Should be an absolutely incredible event, and just want to promote one more event, which is going to be our 250th birthday party in the town of Bermuda Run, community celebration. This is going to be on July 26th from 3 to 6 p.m. It's going to feature the amazing Alex Ottaway Band. You do not want to miss that. We have multiple treats and elements. Let's see. Charlie, you're going to remind me if I get any of these wrong or incorrect. We're going to have free hamburgers and hot dogs served by Boy Scouts. We're going to have free watermelon provided by Lowe's. Snowbiz is going to provide patriotic red, white, and blue shaved ice. Is it Hillman Breweries? Do I have that correct?
Video.
Okay. Is going to be there as well. And our friends at Fusion are going to, soccer parks are going to have games and maybe a few other surprises. So just want everybody to know about that. We really hope you can join us for a fabulous celebration. And now, do we have a motion to?
Oh, I motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you, everybody.